Now welcome to another edition of News from Naboo with Thor's Lightning Takes. And let's get right to the news.
Okay, I want to start with a celebration announcement. Star Wars celebration.
Oh, I thought we were celebrating something.
No.
You sound so disappointed.
March 25th, 4 p.m. PDT, which is
Pacific,
March 26th, 8 a.m. Japan Standard Time.
Okay.
Panel reservation systems open for celebration, which
For
means
those
we
who
know
are
the
going.
big panels, the big four.
Mando and Grogu, I'm
Those
guessing.
close April 8th, by the way, at 4 p.m. Eastern. I don't know why the article had to go into like 3 different time zones, but
Well,
it
because
did.
it's in Tokyo, so it's confusing. So they're trying to be
Friday,
not confusing.
we are getting Mandalorian and Grogu.
Okay, no surprise.
No surprise. We're getting that instead of a Lucasfilm showcase because we actually have a showcasing film.
Well, usually they have like the Lucasfilm like movie panel and kind of like, oh, well, this is the one movie coming out, so that's
So
what the panel's
it
about.
gets the panel.
Yeah, they're cutting out the middleman.
Saturday will be Andor, a Star Wars story. Saturday will also be an Ahsoka panel.
I wonder if we'll see any stuff from season 2, which is still
Could
being
be.
written. I don't know.
And
Maybe
Sunday,
some like concept art stuff.
yeah, and Sunday is First Look Star Wars Visions Volume 3, which is kind of confirming that I think Star Wars Visions is coming May the 4th.
May the 4th be with you.
During Andor season.
Yeah,
They like to overlap. Really, they really hardcore overlap.
Andor is gonna be a great yet rough stretch because they are releasing 3 episodes at once, and we've been asked if we'll be kind of covering them individually or all as one, and I do plan, yeah, a little bit of both. Like my plan is to on my channel the night of release, I'll give a kind of general overview video of what I thought, and then the next 3 days I'll go into each episode individually, and then I'll recover and do it again the next week.
In this channel, we'll do some sort of responses and stuff.
Yeah, we'll try to also
it's going
do
to
something.
Obviously be covered because some people come here and not to your channel.
That is true.
I like to think that I have my own audience.
You do have your own audience for sure.
Yeah.
It's probably people that don't even know I have a channel. And like, oh, Thor's got a channel? That must suck.
Yeah, because I'm not here to keep you
in line.
Yeah, keep you in line.
But yeah, we'll probably try to do individual things here too because people can't always immediately watch all 3 episodes. So.
Well, I'll be covering interviews and things that come along the way as well.
Yeah.
All right. Now that we've talked about the panels briefly, let's move into something else. We know Mandalorian and Grogu, they've got the panel coming, they've got a movie coming. What's happening? What is the status of season 4 of The Mandalorian?
That is a good question because the movie became or was season 4, right?
Yes and no.
Okay. Well, how could you turn a whole season into a movie, I suppose? Because there were plans for it. Like, Favreau had talked about season 4 before.
He did, and he actually recently did an interview with a French outlet, and they asked him about season 4. He said, Season 4? Yeah, I've already written it. We have to know where we're going to tell a fully formed story, so we had mapped it out, Dave and I. And then slowly you just write each episode, so I was writing it during post-production because all of it had to feel like a continuation in one full story.
So he's written it during post-production of Mando and Grogu. So it kind of flows back into the TV show or streaming series, whatever you want to call it.
Possibly. I have a couple of theories, honestly, about the whole thing. About the future of Mandalorian and Grogu post the movie.
Well, I think a lot obviously depends on the box office success. If it is a huge smash, obviously plans will expand.
Well,
but yeah.
And there's also the fact that Disney Plus obviously can monitor their streaming service. They're going to find out post Mandalorian and Grogu how many people now are going to Disney Plus to watch the series.
Yeah.
How many of the audience that didn't have Disney Plus are coming?
That's a good point. Because they get the exact numbers. Obviously, we always get the approximations from the sites that monitor.
They're going to go,
stuff.
Here's our box office dollars. Okay. How many of these people are now coming back to Disney Plus to go, I want to know more about Mandalorian and Grogu. I want to see what their adventures were before this.
Yeah.
And then, obviously, they can find out if there's interest in what happens after. And if Favreau and Filoni have already mapped this out, there could be a future of coming back to the small screen. Why not? I know, none of the other projects have really had legs, but I think Mandalorian and Grogu can keep going. As long as they don't run out of, in the time frame. If they move too close to the sequels, it'll start angering people. We
got 25 years or so to the sequel, so there's no reason to jump ahead to that. But I get what you're saying. And I mean, they'll internally know, will there be a bump in subscriptions after the movie? Will those new subscribers be going straight to the Mando show or series?
Well, and they do exit interviews on movies. This is a thing. It just
Well, sure,
it doesn't
yeah.
happen at most local theaters, obviously. But they do have these systems where they send out surveys and the such afterwards. Go, hey, you saw Mando and Grogu recently. Will you be interested in seeing their continued adventures?
Or have you seen them already? Did you
Yeah,
come here because of that? Or is this a new thing to you? Like, yeah.
they do conduct these surveys to get information because they want to know what their steps are going forward. It could determine, will there be a sequel movie, or will they come back to Disney
Just
Plus?
a series, yeah.
Just, something to kind of bow out from Disney Plus, grab more potential subscribers in the form of a movie that potentially could be very well liked, and then bring them back into Disney Plus again.
Well, yeah, that's the plan. I mean, they've had their difficulties with Disney Plus, and I think a lot of it is because there's just not a ton on there to watch. So if you strike gold and realize, oh, people will watch another season, you're probably going to make another season.
Right. It's all going to depend on how this performs at the box office and how those exit surveys turn out.
I think it's going to do quite well at the box office, which doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be a fantastic movie. Doesn't mean it's not going to be. But I think you have had this absence of Star Wars from the theaters for roughly 6 years, or 6.5 by the time it comes out.
Mm-hmm.
You have people who enjoyed Mando and Grogu the first 2 seasons at the very least. You have the fact that it has kind of entered pop culture on its own, Mando and Baby Yoda, basically.
Yes.
So there will be a lot of interest. There will be a lot of people who go see this movie. Again, don't know if it'll be good or not. I think it'll be solid. I hope it will be.
Yeah.
So I think it'll do well at the box office, and where we go from there is an interesting question.
But in the same vein of things, I feel like Celebration is going to be a huge turning point. They're going to release the trailer, right?
No, 1,000%.
They're going to release the trailer. That panel's going to be
don't.
stacked full of information about this upcoming movie. That actually could determine if they start filming the next season, because you don't want to wait too long after the movie to go,
a fair point.
Well, they liked the movie, things went well. Give us 1.5 to 2 years and we'll give you more.
Yeah.
People are going to want more now. So if that movie comes out and then they go, well, next year, season 4 of The Mandalorian comes out, you might have a better chance of getting people.
I think you make a great point, because if you wait until the movie comes out, because then it'll be 2 years maybe before the next season.
But if you can tell them next year.
Yeah, that would be an awesome way to end the movie, wouldn't it? And, kind of how Avengers or Marvel does it, like, such and such character will return.
Mando and Grogu will return.
Yeah, next year in season 4 of The Mandalorian. Go subscribe to Disney Plus now.
And then you'll catch up on. They'll have time to catch up on the previous seasons. They'll put this onto the Disney Plus streaming service by then. You can rewatch it and go straight into season 4.
Yeah, I guess it all depends on how successful they actually think the movie will be, and I'm sure as it gets closer, they'll be able to gauge. As you said, Celebration will certainly.
The trailer coming out.
Yeah, how well the trailer is received.
Because that is going to be a big tell. I mean, of course, they didn't listen to that in the terms of Snow White. They just kept pressing forward.
Well,
they've
spent so much money on that thing, it'd be hard to scrap it.
Yeah.
Even though that might even just be better.
Hey, they scrapped Batwoman, and that was like done.
Yeah, that was done. I mean, as far as we know, it's a Batgirl. Yeah, it was like 100% done. Mm-hmm. And then they're like, nah, let's not do that.
No, this isn't going to work.
Let's take the tax write-off instead.
Yeah, but then again, they did press forward with Willow. They had to know.
Sometimes they don't. Sometimes they don't, or they don't care. Like, they really just want to have, this is what we want the show to be. It turned out that is what it is, but guess what? Fans didn't want it.
True.
I don't know. I always wonder what goes on behind the scenes at places like Lucasfilm when they're making an actual dud movie or dud show. Do they know? Mm-hmm. Or do they think, yeah, this is good. People are going to love Willow.
Well, it's funny because there's even that rumor going around about the first Sonic movie that they made that Sonic look really bad on purpose.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a rumor as much as it's a
turn it around
theory.
And go, look, we now give you the Sonic you really want. They had to know that thing looked horrible.
Exactly.
There's no way they didn't know.
But yet at the same time, sometimes they don't. Mm. But I don't know. That's one of those.
Yeah, and that's the joke for the new little Shrek trailery thing that came out. They're like, oh, they look horrible. Maybe they did them bad on purpose, like Sonic. It's hard to tell. I just want to know how the trailer and how Mandalorian and Grogu coming out will affect the future of the seasons, because I wouldn't mind if they keep going with it.
Hey, the first 2 seasons were fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
They were really good, and not just because, we got the sequel, so it's like, it's better than that. Mm-hmm. They were really good. I really enjoyed them, especially season 1.
I think season 3 just got a little too big for its britches. They wanted to do too much, and a lot of it ended up on the cutting room floor.
I still believe Disney was like, hey, you can't have another season of Mandalorian without the green guy. You got to put the kid back in there, and that's why we threw them back together in Book of Boba Fett, and that way people knew Mando season 3 they'd be together, and that reeks of corporate intervention.
It does.
That reeks of greed.
It does,
Yes,
doesn't it?
yes.
Too much greed.
Too much greed. Past the dark side, that is.
Just because Grogu is green doesn't mean he represents it.
They thought put the green guy in, gets the green.
Mm.
And it turned out to be a rough season, unfortunately. But anyway, I think that's going to be all we got for you this time. Now it is your turn. Take to the comments below. Join our little conversation ramble. Tell us what you think about the Mando and Grogu movie. Do you think it's going to do well? Are you excited for it? Do you want a season 4 of Mando and Grogu? Or do you think that all depends on how the movie goes? Whatever the case may be, leave those comments below. Let's talk some Star Wars. And until next time, thanks for watching.